There were a number of questions from Forum Asia. The first beginning with Myanmar. As I have stated in my oral update yesterday, I think it is important that the Human Rights Council propose or recommend to the General Assembly that a IIIM be established, given the seriousness of the violations that we have outlined in all the briefings given to the Human Rights Council and to the other parts of the UN over the course of the last 2 years. On Cambodia, we understand that some delegations are speaking of an intercessional dialogue, and of course, having heard from the distinguished representative of Cambodia, having heard from others in civil society, we think a dialogue is well merited. On the Maldives, I fear that a continuation of the state of emergency and the political instability in the country would drastically and negatively affect parts of the Maldives economy, in particular the tourism industry. And so I'm concerned about the situation there, and we will continue to monitor it very carefully. I'm also deeply concerned about the government's repeated expression of its intention to end the long-standing de facto moratorium on the death penalty. There are currently 20 individuals on death row, including several whose convictions raise serious questions about due process. And I urge the government to retain the Maldives' long-standing de facto moratorium by commuting the death sentences of all individuals currently on death row. On Sri Lanka, we will closely monitor developments in the country, publicly and privately express our concerns with regard to the difficulties that the country has been seeing in terms of the slow pace of enacting the reforms necessary, and I'm particularly, of course, concerned about these most recent developments. And worry about the incitement that has led in some cases to the violence, and most of all the need, as I said yesterday, that there be no impunity for any of the actions that have led to the violence in the most recent period, in the last couple of weeks. And this is something that is dangerous and needs to be brought to an end, but it needs to be brought to an end in compliance with human rights obligations and standards.